Here's my full and completely honest review of the American Airlines AAdvantage Credit Card.
Oh, hi, Mark.
What's up, Freccero fam? Welcome back to my channel. I'd like to experience everything that life has to offer. As most of you know, I travel a lot. I'm constantly bouncing around doing a bunch of different things, filming vlogs, having new experiences, and a lot more. And one huge technique I use, among a lot of techniques I use when it comes to traveling, a traveling credit card. I want to stress right in the beginning of this video, I have no affiliation with American Airlines or Citi Bank or this credit card. This is my completely honest review, as I've had this credit card for years now and I absolutely love it. And in this video, I'm gonna go really in depth about the credit card, telling you everything you need to know, the good, the bad, how to use it, is it actually worth it or not, and a lot more. First off, I want to give you like a short mini review of the credit card. To give you a quick synopsis, if you're wondering like, hey Mark, is it worth it or not? I'd give it 4.5 stars out of 5. There's a reason why I've had it for years and I've not really used any other credit card. In addition, this is how it looks, in case you're curious about the visualness of it. I have put a piece of paper on the back for obvious reasons. But this is how it looks. I feel like it's a bit boring. No offense, American Airlines, but the gray is a little boring to me. I have seen some other traveling credit cards that I feel like look better in terms of the visualness of it. But overall, I'd rank it, like I said, 4.5 stars out of 5 when I look at all the pros, all the cons, using it, and everything else. With that being said now, let's get into the nitty gritty. First off, I want to talk about credit cards in general. I feel like I have to mention this on this video, and I want to stress, I am a former accountant, in case you didn't know, but I'm not your accountant. Of course, when it comes to personal finance and everything, everybody's situation is a bit different. And so to give you like a quick FYI when it comes to credit cards, the main idea is this. You get a credit card and you apply for one using all your information and they check your credit score. So keep that in mind. The better your credit score is, you're gonna get a little better interest when it comes to the credit card. The worse it is, your interest is going to be a bit higher. And the main idea with a credit card, there's a bunch of different advantages to a credit card. But the main idea is this. When you get a credit card, you apply for one and you get it, you have a credit limit. So it says $5,000. That means you can spend maximum $5,000 on the credit card until you pay it off. So for me, and a huge pro tip I want to say, what I do is the second I pay for anything with a credit card, whether it's a Gatorade, I'm paying for gas, I'm buying flights, I immediately pay it off with the actual cash I have in my debit account. One thing I do have to stress on this video is this. The way credit card companies make their money is by charging you interest. And so in plain common speak, credit card companies make money by you not paying off your bill and them charging you more. I'm making numbers super simple here, but let's say you spend $100 on the credit card. Well, the credit card company might say, hey, on that $100, because you didn't pay it, we're now going to charge you $110 or $120, right? So they're charging you a little bit more because in a sense, they gave you that cash or they gave you that amount. You didn't pay it yet. So now you owe them a little bit more. That is the way they make their money. So I have to stress right in the beginning of this video, and again, I'm a former accountant, but I'm not your accountant. Always ask yourself, let's say you get the credit card and it has a $5,000 limit. Are you likely to be like, ooh, I have $5,000 I can spend right now, and you go out and you buy a bunch of stuff, and now you don't have the actual money, the actual cash to pay it off? You're gonna get charged a lot in interest, and it's gonna put you in a deep financial hole. I know, maybe not the best positive place to start on this video, but I do like to be transparent. But of course, there are actually a lot of benefits when it comes to having a credit card. One is, of course, a traveling credit card. There's a lot of traveling benefits. I'm gonna talk about all the benefits, the perks, the bonuses you get with this credit card. But in addition, just by having a credit card in general, by you using it and then paying off that debt very, very quickly and very efficiently, this also helps build your credit. Just by having a credit card in general and being very smart and effective about paying off that debt and managing your debt can help build your credit score, which is super important. With that being said now, let's talk about the most important thing, in my opinion, specifically when it comes to this credit card, American Airlines. I mainly got this credit card and I signed up with it because I like American Airlines. I've had good luck with them. Of course, I've had some pretty bad experiences with American Airlines, but I feel like that's true for almost any airline. I've flown with tons of different airlines, whether it's Delta or United or Southwest or American. The list goes on, and I've had good experiences and negative experiences with pretty much all the airlines. And I know everybody has a different opinion. I know some people who swear by Southwest but hate American. I know some people who swear by American and hate United. I know some people who love United and hate Delta. Everybody has a different perspective, so I want to say this. Although it's a bit Captain Obvious, I do want to say this. If you love American Airlines, you're definitely going to love this card. If you don't like American Airlines, however, do not get this card. I know it seems like Captain Obvious, but there are mainly 3 different benefits to this specific credit card. One is what I like to call credit card benefits. What I'm talking about, like I said earlier, is using the credit card and paying off the debt and managing your debt effectively. It helps build your credit. So you get the benefits of having a credit card in general. The second tier of bonuses is traveling bonuses. You can use this credit card to get flights, to pay for hotels, and a lot more. And that second tier is more just traveling in general. But as you can imagine, the third tier, specifically about this credit card, when it comes to the bonuses, is American Airlines specific benefits. Benefits directly related to flying and going with American Airlines when you travel. The sign-up process. So if you are interested in getting the credit card, going through all the steps of everything you need to know, and now talk about signing up, they do have different offers. Like you might see this a lot when traveling, that they might walk through the aisle with like that brochure. If you do sign up, they usually have some type of deal where they say, okay, if you spend $5,000 in the first like 3 months, you get 30,000 AAdvantage miles, which I'll talk about in a second. But I want to say this as a quick side note. AAdvantage miles are not exact miles. I hate it when credit cards do this, including this one. It's super annoying. Any single time for this video, when I say AAdvantage miles, use that as a synonym for points. So you're really getting 30,000 points, not miles. I will talk about that a bit later in detail, but just something to keep in mind. But anyway, when it comes to signing up, you enter in all your information. They will run your credit, like I said. Then you get the credit card. And in general, the first year is typically free. And then after that, it's $99, at least at the exact time of this video. With that all being said, now let's get into the nitty gritty of this video. Probably the main reason why you're watching this video. Now, typically when it comes to having this credit card, you're gonna get 2 different apps on your phone. You're gonna have the Citi Bank app and the American Airlines app. I highly suggest getting both apps for your phone. Now, in terms of how it works, to go over this super simply, I go out and I use this credit card to buy stuff, whatever it is. And then I use a separate account to then pay it off. So to be specific, let's say I go out and I use this card and I buy a $3 body armor. Huge fan of body armor, by the way. I have my Bank of America account connected to my Citi Bank account, which I have the app. I then go on the app of Citi Bank and I pay off that $3 body armor with the cash or the money that's in my Bank of America account. Now, obviously, everybody has a bit of a different strategy. Do I actually go and the second I buy that body armor or a $3 beverage, I pay it off? No. I'd say every maybe 3 or 4 days, maybe once a week, I'll go in, look at my recent purchases, some of them pending, some of them not, and then I'll pay that off with my Bank of America account, with my actual cash and my Bank of America account that's already linked to my Citi Bank account. And in doing so, throughout this process of buying stuff with the credit card and of course paying it off, that's how you build up points. That's how you get AAdvantage miles. But like I said, any single time I say AAdvantage miles, just think of points. In addition, the more money you spend on this credit card, the higher you rank up when it comes to American Airlines. And I'm not gonna lie, it is super convenient, and I gotta say, this is something I wish I got earlier. Because if you think about it, if let's say you have to buy gas anyway, if you have to buy groceries anyway, if you're gonna get that beer at that bar anyway, why not buy it, pay it off so you don't get any interest, and get free stuff on top of that? And like I said, what's really good about this is if let's say I'm going out and I'm spending money, and let's say I'm not even traveling or anything, I still get ranked higher and higher when it comes to my AAdvantage status on American Airlines. So even if you're not traveling, but you're still using this credit card, you're building up your credit and therefore getting more bonuses and perks with American Airlines. And like I said earlier, when it comes to this credit card, I do suggest getting both apps, the Citi Bank app for your phone and the American Airlines app for your phone. The Citi Bank one will be all the kind of number stuff, all the financial stuff. You can see what you spent recently, your pending charges, you can pay it off, etc., etc. And then on the other end, your American Airlines app will show you kind of your status, how many AAdvantage points or miles you've racked up. You can book flights, you can see all your bonuses at that current moment, and more. With that being said now, you may be wondering like, okay, this all makes sense, but What are the perks? What are the bonuses to having this credit card? I'm on the American Airlines website right now. You can see right here, in terms of signing up, the first bonus you get, and this is typical for a lot of credit cards in general, is you can get 50,000 AAdvantage bonus miles after you spend $2,500 in the first 3 months. It is free to have the credit card for the first year, and then like I said earlier, $99 after that. Now going down, let's get into the benefits. First off, you get free check bag on domestic American Airlines flights and up to 4 travel companions on the same reservation. And what's good about this I like is it's not like you have to spend a ton of money. It's not like they say, hey, you have to spend $10,000 and then you start getting free check bags. This pretty much happens right away, just by having the credit card itself. Preferred boarding on American Airlines flights. When you first sign up, you're gonna be group 5. So you get to board before other people, which I think is more convenient. Also, let's say if you just have a personal item and a carry-on, as everyone knows, the later you board, the more risk it is that, let's say, your carry-on will not fit in the airplane. You're gonna have to check it, which is just kind of annoying. In addition, you get 25% savings on in-flight food and beverage purchases when you use the card. Now, in terms of the mileage benefits, now, like I said, every single time you use a credit card, that's gonna give you points that you can use towards flights, hotels, etc. But you can see right here, you get a little more depending on what you buy. So you get 2x or 2 miles for every $1 spent at restaurants and gas stations. You get 2x on eligible American Airlines purchases, and then you get 1 mile or just 1x, or pretty much the typical, for $1 spent on other purchases. So if I spend $10, I get 10 AAdvantage miles that I can use for other stuff. And then in terms of additional benefits, I feel like it's kind of funny when they say this, but you can get a $125 American Airlines flight discount after you spend $20,000 or more in purchases during your card membership year and renew your card. So one thing I do want to say, this is me being very honest and transparent, although I love the credit card, keep in mind that you do have to spend a good amount of money to get some of these perks and benefits. Because being honest, I usually get this $125 voucher every year. And when I get it, I'm like, oh, great, $125 towards a random flight. That's awesome. But then I think, oh yeah, I just spend $20,000 or more in order to get it. But like I said earlier, if you're safe with your credit card and you're very responsible, why not get free stuff on top of things you're buying anyway? If you're gonna go to a restaurant anyway, why not get miles for your meal? If you're gonna buy gas anyway, why not get perks on top of that? In addition, you have no foreign transaction fees on purchases, and also you get to add authorized users to your account at no additional charge. Another perk I'm gonna say, and this is more about just credit cards in general, is like I said earlier, one, of course, when it comes to the perks, you get to build your credit. This is very effective. If let's say you wanna buy a car someday, if you're looking at a mortgage, etc., etc. Having a high credit score is, of course, super important. The second thing is fighting fraud. If let's say I'm using my debit card with Bank of America, or let's say I'm paying cash, and I get scammed, I'm kind of SOL. I just have to accept it. But there's been times where, let's say, with this credit card, I've bought something, and I'm like, wait a minute, I think this was actually was a scam. Whether it's something online or whatever, I can file fraud, and the fraud department will go after them. The Citi Bank fraud department is amazing. There's only been, I'd say, maybe 2 or 3 times I've actually used them in the past 6 or 7 years where I have gotten scammed, but it's kind of great. What they do right away is they say, hey, you think this is fraud? We're gonna give you that money. We're giving you that money. We're not charging you for it. If let's say you got scammed $100, we're not going to charge you for that $100, and we're going to go after the people and figure out what happened. And that is so convenient. That's another big reason why I use this credit card to pay for everything, not just the perks, but if I get scammed, if something was fraudulent, if something happened where I'm like, wait a minute, things are just not adding up, or I did not get this product or service I bought, their fraud department will handle it. I don't have to worry about it at all. Moving on now, let's talk about the AAdvantage account. So this is my exact account as it stands. Being super transparent, I'm currently a gold member. When you sign up, you'll be at the regular tier. I hit gold, so I'm in gold now, which gives you even more perks and bonuses, which I'll talk about. But like I said, every single time you use that credit card, you're ranking higher and higher with American Airlines. You can see right now, I have about 116,000 miles, points, like I said earlier, and I can redeem them, which I'll talk about a bit later of how to do that. But as you can see here, the more that you spend, the more that you use the credit card, you can reach higher and higher tiers, which gives you more and more perks. So if I go here, you can see right here that every eligible mile earns a loyalty point, and you can unlock rewards and statuses. So benefits, and these are amazing. This also kind of teeters on some travel hacks too, which we'll talk about. But priority check-in, security and boarding, like I said, because I'm now a gold member, I'm group 4. And I'd say typically most people are usually group like 5 or 6. So the fact that now I'm group 4 boarding, so much smoother when it comes to boarding. Complimentary access to preferred and main cabin extra seats. This is another big one. When it comes to picking your seat on the seating chart, just by having the card, you can get better seats. Especially for me now that I'm a gold member, I can get like the preferred or the main cabin seats for free. I don't have to spend an extra $80 to upgrade my seat. It's on the house. Also, one huge traveling hack that I love that I use all the time is self-upgrading yourself. So in the American Airlines app, when you check in, like say the day of your flight, like so you checked in the day beforehand and you have the flight, like say today, for example, you could pull up the seating chart. And this is an example when I was traveling from Denver to Los Angeles. The red seats are the premium ones. The green seats are the normal ones. Even if, let's say, you're not a gold member or whatever, you can sometimes still self-upgrade yourself the day of your flight and get a better seat without having to spend that upgrade fee. Going more now, though, into these benefits, free check bags, like I said earlier, complimentary cabin upgrades if it's available, right? Sometimes you do get bumped. There's been numerous times where I went to fly and they're like, hey, Mark, because you've been flying with us for a while, we're putting you in first class for free. And I'm like, sweet, pretty awesome. In addition, you get extra benefits with partners and opportunity to enhance with miles. So going down here, these are the tiers, right? Like I said, in the beginning, you'll be in the most basic or the starting tier. The more that you use the credit card, the more that you travel, the more that you spend, you get different perks. So you can see as you go up the list, you get more stuff. As you can see, like right now, I'm a gold member. I'm not at platinum yet. Maybe at some point it will be. But right now I get priority check-in, security, and group 4 boarding, like I just said. Unlimited auto-requested complimentary upgrades in the 24-hour upgrade window. Like I said earlier, as a huge travel hack. A lot of people do not use this feature. I don't know why. Maybe they don't even know it exists, right? But super convenient. I get a free check bag and complimentary preferred seats at booking, main cabin extra seats at check-in, and I also have a higher likelihood to get bumped up to first class. Now let's talk about redeeming miles. This to me is the most important thing, at least in my opinion, for this video, and the main reason why I got the American Airlines Credit Card. And also, this is all the stuff I wish I knew earlier, because it's one thing to get a credit card. We all know about the benefits, the pros and cons of a credit card. It's another thing to get a traveling credit card. It's also another thing to know about the bonuses and the rewards, but let's talk about actually getting those bonuses. Let's talk about the free stuff you can get by using the American Airlines Credit Card, and it's pretty awesome. This section is gonna be both a blend of what to expect when using the credit card in terms of redeeming those miles, which in my opinion is the main point of getting a traveling credit card or the American Airlines Credit Card, but also some travel hacks as well. Now, first off, I'm on e-shopping, so you can use the American Airlines Credit Card for shopping, hotels, flights, and a lot more. So you can see right here, I'm just gonna scroll through this super quick, but I have these different stores that I can get perks up to, not only getting, let's say, more miles, but by every dollar I spend. So you can see right here, when it comes to Best Buy, up to 4 miles, right, when it comes to shopping and earning. But also, I'll get discounts on different stores just by having the American Airlines Credit Card. So I want to mention this first. Now let's get into booking a flight. I think this is probably the main reason for a lot of people when they think about using a traveling credit card and getting the perks and bonuses is getting free flights. So let's say I want to go from, I don't know, Los Angeles to Vegas, right? Pretty short flight, which is actually very important for this video. I'll explain why in a second. So I'm going to do LAX to LAS, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click redeem miles. Let's say I'm going in the peak of summer, so let's do, I don't know, June 12th, which in Vegas is going to be super hot. Now when this pulls up, you can see right here, I have my current balance. And then I'm going to go down here. I can filter by this. So for example, by filtering by kind of the cheapest flight I can get, I have, like I said, about 116,000 miles for me to go one way from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. LA to Vegas is a super short flight. Like I said, it's an hour and 20 minutes. You can see right here in terms of the duration. And it would cost me 7,500 AAdvantage miles, or like I said, 7,500 points. In addition, every single time you use your miles, in case you didn't know, you do have to spend money. So as you can see here, it is 7,500 AAdvantage miles or points plus $5.60. Not bad, right? That being said, at first you're like, wow, this is a great deal, but it depends. I say this is a bit of a unique situation, and this is why I want to start with this. I say the average flight, you're looking at anywhere between, like say 15,000 and I'd say 20,000 AAdvantage miles or points. It does depend, of course, if you want to do first class, it'd be 45,000, as you can see right here. So this is what we kind of have to also do, I think, not only how much is it going to cost in terms of miles? And this is something I do an entire video about and go really in depth about kind of the mile dollar analysis. Because if I go, let's say, to Google Flights, which I pulled this up on June 12th, same situation, for $46, I can fly with Delta. So even though it's not American, $46 to go from LA to Vegas. In my opinion, after flying with American Airlines for years and using this credit card for years, I think it's a better deal spending $46 for the flight and saving the miles. The reason why is, let's say I do this. Let's say I go to, let's go back to new search. Let's say I'm going to do, let's do like a big flight. So let's do LA to, let's say, Boston, right? We're going to go to Logan. We're going to do one way again. I'm going to do all airlines and show all. Make sure you do all airlines, by the way. This includes not only American Airlines, but like American Eagle and stuff like that. Let's go to, let's organize by the cheapest. So you can see that, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes the flights aren't the best, right? So this seems like 15 hours. Okay, that's kind of ridiculous. Let's do a more realistic one. Okay, that's not too bad, 9 a.m. When you include the time change, okay, that's not too bad. So if you think about it, for 15,500 miles, I can go all the way from LA to Boston. So it's interesting that for half this price, I can go from LA to Vegas. But for double the price, I can go all the way coast to coast. This is something I think you'll learn overall. Like I said, I really want to make this video very simple and scraping the surface here, because this is something I could go very in-depth on. But just in general, the more that you use the card and redeem the points and get those perks and everything, you will start to realize when you see a good deal or one that isn't that good. Like I said, this to me is a great deal. I'm spending 15,500 miles, $11.20, right? Because like I said, you do have to spend money any single time you use miles. I think it's like the taxes and fees or whatever, right? This is a great deal. And like I said, the Vegas deal, which at first seems pretty cheap, only 7,500, in my opinion, bit overpriced, because for double that, I can go, like I said, coast to coast. This is something that, like I said, over time, you will get better at, is I always like to look at the miles versus price comparison. I think it's super important to do this, and I do this all the time in order to get the best bang for your buck, or in this case, might as well say, the best bang for your AAdvantage miles or points. And what's awesome is the bonuses don't just stop there. In terms of other bonuses, I now have hotels, cars, vacations, cruises. Let's go to hotels, for example. And I want to say as a side note, always look into this, because sometimes I think, if I'm, let's say, going to Vegas, for example, the flight, not worth it to use miles, but the hotels might be. Sometimes you can get better bonuses booking a hotel with miles than a flight. So it does depend. Every situation is a bit different. So let's say I'm going to do Vegas. Oh, spelled that wrong. There we go. I'm going to redeem the miles, right? And this is now going to be organizing all the different hotels. I'm going to go to sort and filter, click lowest price first. I don't know why they don't do this automatically. I feel like every single time I travel, I'm like, all right, what is the cheapest option? Then we'll see, then we'll look at all the different options I have, because I travel so much. Might as well get the most bang for my buck. So if you look at it right here, with my current status and everything, 2,600 miles to spend a night at Excalibur, which I think, I'm not gonna lie, not the nicest hotel, but I think a decent spot on the strip. Not too bad. In addition, if I go down here, you can see if I hover over, I have a few different options. I can then use 2,000 miles, but I have to pay $7. 1,300 miles, but then I have to pay $15. So this gives you some flexibility of, let's say, using miles versus actual dollars. I can also go to map. Again, this is super convenient, right? Like if I'm saying on the Vegas Strip, I'm gonna zoom out while it's kind of loading the results. This is the main strip, by the way, while this is loading. So boom, so you can see right here. So looking at this real quick, I actually know Vegas decently well. If I go to, let's say, this one, was this Nobu Hotel at Caesars, that seems a bit overpriced in my opinion. Also, might as well say this when it comes to Vegas, don't ball out on a hotel in Vegas. I know a lot of people want to do that. You should only be in your hotel, especially for Vegas, to sleep and to get ready. That should be it, right? So spend the money on something else. This might be worth it, I'm not gonna lie, but I think I'd rather the Strat. Yeah, the Strat's fine, honestly. The Strat Hotel also has a decent view of the strip, so you can't go wrong. Now, of course, I could go a lot more in depth about all these different ways to redeem points, the math behind it, talking about different hacks, but just in general, know that one, getting those points, super easy with the credit card, right? All you do is use it. It's that simple. Redeeming the points or redeeming the miles, like I just showed you, is also super simple. I think the hardest part in general, or if I'd call it that, is really just to figure out, is it worth it or not, right? In some cases, like I said, with that Boston flight, I think it is worth it. I think I'd much rather use the miles for that Boston flight. However, on the other end, like I showed you with that Vegas flight, I think that was very overpriced and not worth it. I would much rather just spend cash to get a flight, even if it's with a different airline like I showed you. I think that Delta flight was probably the best value when flying from LA to Vegas on June 12th. Just to use a very specific example, as opposed to using my miles. With this all being said now, let me give you my honest review in general. Like I said earlier in the beginning of the video, 4.5 stars out of 5. Super easy to use. I do like the Citi Bank app and the American Airlines app. I like American Airlines in general. I usually have very good luck with them. The customer service is amazing. So overall, like I said, I love this credit card, and there's the main reason why. I got it, and I'm continuing to use it, and I will continue to use it. In terms of the cons, because nothing's ever perfect, one, you do have to spend $99 a year for this credit card. I'm not gonna lie, in my opinion, completely worth it, especially if you travel a lot and you use this credit card a lot, but something to keep in mind. The second thing, which is something you may be wondering, is, well, how does this compare to other traveling credit cards? Now, first off, it does depend on what airline you like. For example, some people, like I said, swear by United or Southwest or Delta or whatever. So of course, it does depend upon which airline you like. Some airlines get more perks than this card, other ones less perks. To use an example, the United card, which I don't know why American doesn't do this, kind of annoying, but the United card, you get 2 lounge passes a year on the house, complimentary. And also, I want to say as a side note, huge travel hack. If let's say you're flying, let's say you have the credit card or not, go to the lounge. It's going to cost you, depending on the airline, anywhere between, I'd say, at least the exact time of this video, $60 to $70. One time, for example, I was flying to Costa Rica, got there about 2.5 hours early because we went through TSA super quick. I was actually flying with United, went to the lounge, paid $70, and the airport lounges are amazing. And this is a huge traveling hack I like to say, because a lot of people don't know you can pay to go in the lounge. And yeah, maybe you might spend $70, but in the lounge, you typically get open bar for well or normal drinks. In terms of their well beers, wines, and liquors. In addition, they have coffee, tea, water, soda. They have better Wi-Fi, more comfortable seats, and food. There was one time I was flying, for example, with American Airlines. I was in their lounge, and they had like sushi and salmon and eggs. And if you think about it, if let's say you were in the airport and you want to get 5 drinks, for example, and get food and get a coffee, you're going to spend way more than $70. Airport lounges are just super underrated. I have to stress that on this video. Like I said, which is kind of annoying, on the United card, you get 2 free passes a year. With this card, you get no passes, which is kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie, because I do love the lounge. However, another huge pro tip, which I did not know this earlier, and I really wish I did, you can use your miles, you can use your points to get lounge access. So at least at the exact time of this video, it costs 6,900 AAdvantage miles or points to get lounge access. And in some cases, it can be worth it. There was one time I was flying from Boston to LA, and I had like 2 or 3 hours to kill in the airport. And I was like, you know what? I've already spent a ton of money this weekend. It was one of those trips where we were going out a lot, spent a lot of money. I feel like my American Airlines credit card is hurting a bit. You know what? I'm just gonna use the miles. And so in general, I love the credit card. In terms of the perks of having a credit card, signing up for the credit card, using the apps, both the American Airlines app and the Citi Bank app, which are also integrated as well. Very seamless, very easy to use. The bonuses and the perks that you get with the credit card are awesome, and even way more than I mentioned on this video, because of course, I don't want to make this video super, super long. Like I said, I'm so happy I got the American Airlines credit card. It's something I regret not getting earlier. And with everything I've mentioned on this video, it is the exact reason why I'm going to use this traveling credit card for the rest of my life.